Hey guys, LootWizard here with another video on Gems of War, and this time we have an invasion event going on. So it just started a few hours ago. I thought I'd come in here and see what kind of teams we can build, and of course we have a new weapon here in this shop. It is called Kegs Crusher. Deals 33 damage to an enemy, boosted by Dwarf allies, then creates a mix of 6 blue and brown gems for each Dwarf ally. So this is one of those weapons that will generate mana for specific ally types, and in this case it's the dwarfs. And there are some really good dwarf allies, so we're going to go ahead and buy up to at least the weapon here, and then we're going to go upgrade the weapon with our legendary ingots, see what kind of things we can have there in that upgrade. And we're going to come in here and see what kind of team we can build. We might as well use that weapon, but we probably have other weapons to choose from as well. Troop restrictions is the dwarf, so like I said, there's actually some pretty good dwarf troops. So we'll go ahead. First of all, let's go upgrade that weapon. And of course, we have lots of weapons here to choose from. So we have quite a bit. So let's see, what was that weapon called? Crusher? And let's look at the upgrades here. Gains 4 life, gains 4 armor, deals 5 damage to the first enemy, and then it'll stun the first enemy. So stun is pretty good. Stun basically removes the traits on a troop at the top there of the enemy team until it is cleansed of that. So that's pretty cool. We do have Mountain Crusher available, and so that might be something that we want to use as well. However, let's see what we can do with this weapon. It says create a mix of blue and brown gems. So if we go, first of all, let's select a class. There are a couple of dwarf classes that we can use. One of them is really good. It's called the Rune Priest right here. As you can see, I have it at a level 100. Talent trees, once you get to level 40, you have the option of Rock Solid, which is one of the best talents for any class in the game. You will gain Barrier when matching brown gems. Barrier is really, really good. Tree of Knowledge is also one of my favorite talents. Basically, you gain enchant when you match green gems. And then, of course, down here at level 100, you get the best one, which is Fortitude. It's like the best talent, I think, in any of these classes. It makes you immune to stun, poison, disease, death, mark, lycanthropy, and devour. So lots of good stuff there. So this is one that we could use, probably the best one. But there is another dwarf class, I believe. See if I can remember what it's called here. I don't think it's the Diabolist. We'll check real quick. Nope, that's Demon. Is it the Doomsayer? I don't think so. Might come back and check that, though, if I can't find it. Pretty sure there's one more. It might be the Slayer. I think it is the Slayer. Yeah, okay, so the Slayer is a dwarf class. And I don't have this one fully leveled yet. It's only 39. So I'll probably use this one. It inflicts bleed on all enemies when an enemy dies. Becomes enraged when an enemy dies for its talents. I don't think it's anything really crazy amazing here, but create a firestorm at the start of battle. I might not need that, actually. Create an ice storm. We might want to go with that since we're generating blue mana. And yeah, this class I would say is not as good as the other one. This one does have Fireblade, though, at level 100, which will allow you to deal triple skull damage to burning enemies. So since I don't have this one leveled, I'm just going to use it for the sake of leveling it up. But I would recommend using the Rune Priest, especially if you have it past level 40, because you have that Rock Solid. So let's go check out the troops and see what troops we can throw in here. Of course, there's a legendary troop, King Highforge, which will allow all dwarves to start with 50% mana. We may not need that, though, for this event, simply because we bought some levels there in the shop, which would give us the Potion of Explosion enchantment. So we might not need the starting battle thing there, but it does summon dwarves. King Bloodhammer is really great. Deals 31 damage to 2 of the strongest enemies, then transforms all blue gems to Doom Skulls. We also have Stonehammer, which is one of the best support troops and defense troops in the game. And will stun and burn all enemies. It creates a mix of 22 red and brown gems, gains 30 life, reduces damage from skulls by 80%, and it's immune to stun, which means this is not going to be affected by any kind of stun thrown at it, unless, of course, it's cursed first. But we have Gimlet here for starting at full mana. Transforms all green gems to brown. That's a great mana generator. We also have Tink Steam Whistle, which will create Electro Storm. I might throw him in there. He also gives armor and life to all allies boosted by red gems. So if you really want your team to survive and be tanky, that is a really good option as well. And some of the damage troops here, we have Moya Craigheart, which is also one of my favorite troops. It'll allow you to do a little bit of spell damage, but then it also converts green gems to Doom Skulls. So that's pretty amazing. We also have Lady Ironbeard, which does spell damage, deals triple spell damage if the enemy's armor is weaker. Lord Ironbeard does triple damage to red enemies. And Apothecary, of course, is one of the great mana generators in the game because it will transform a selected mana color to brown, and then it cleanses all allies. And this weapon is going to be creating a mix of blue and brown gems. So this is going to be a really great option here because it takes blue, and then we can transform stuff into brown, which will fill up something like King Bloodhammer. But also, this creates a mix of blue gems, and King Bloodhammer is going to transform blue gems to Doom Skulls. So those two would go really well together. I'm just looking here really quickly to see what other troops we have here for the dwarves. I should say Deep Borer is also a really good mana generator. It destroys a column, creates 9 brown gems, and then you gain 24 armor. So that's also really good there. And we have, of course, the Dwarven Gate, which is good. Gives 5 mana to all allies and gains gives barrier to all those allies. Plus, then it gains a little bit of armor itself. So, and that also takes blue. So this weapon would also fill that up. Yeah, that's interesting there. So yeah, we got a few good dwarf troops here, I would say. This guy deals splash damage. But yeah, so it depends on what we want to use, mostly for damage. We could throw, like I said, we could throw this guy in here, but King Bloodhammer and that are going to conflict with the mana. So we'll see. But as far as damage goes, it looks like, just trying to see what else we have here. This is going to do splash damage. Lady Ironbeard would be good, but it's more of like a sniping troop. And let's see, we could do Moya Craigheart, but we're going to need green gems to get that thing doing its damage. I think we'll just go with this combination, even though there's a little mana blocking going on here between King Bloodhammer and Highforge. We should be able to still get them enough mana between Kegs Crusher and the Apothecary. So we'll see here. We'll use the Slayer, like I said. And we are going brown and blue. I want to see what other options we have here, because we could do something like this. Double blue and then brown. Or we could do the Kraken banner, but then we have a negative to purple, and that's what Kegs Crusher needs. So I think I'm just going to go the double blue and brown. And we'll see here how that works out. Now, early on here in these battles, it's going to be really easy because the enemy is going to have such low life and armor. But as we get higher, we'll see. And we've already got this full. And we can go ahead and transform that. And right there, that was a beautiful thing going on. And we don't really have a lot of blue matching up, so I can't really use this guy yet, but we can use that. I have one blue matched up over here. Plus, King Bloodhammer does do some spell damage, so we have to take that into effect as well. That's one of the nice things about King Bloodhammer, is that it actually does do spell damage as well as skull damage. And it's not regular skulls, it's actually Doom Skulls, so you have like the best type of skull damage. we get to use this weapon. As you saw, we had that. Now, up here we have this right here. Nice 4-match of skulls. Oh, I hit the wrong thing I was going to hit. I was going to hit King Bloodhammer. Like a dummy, I messed that up. Yeah, I really messed that up. Oh, well. We can use King Highforge and finish those two off. So, yeah, we'll use this team for a little bit, and then we'll go in and we'll see what other dwarf troops we can put together. Be nice if there was like a dwarf troop that did damage to all enemies in there somewhere. So, we'll see. But, yeah. Well, let's try a different team here. That one's kind of, it's okay, but we still have to consider what else we could use. I know, like I was saying, Lady Ironbeard is kind of more like a sniping troop, and Lord Ironbeard as well, which they'll still work, but I would prefer something that did damage to all enemies. Like a weapon is probably going to be our best option for that, because I don't really see anything really off the top of my head here. But let's just go through them real quick again and see if there's anything. Gimlet. This does splash damage. Already saw him earlier. And let's see. Do that. This just gives attack. That gives armor. This creates Doom Skulls. This has like a 50% chance to do damage to all enemies. It's another sniping troop. There's this. Yeah, I don't think we really have anything here that's going to do damage to all enemies. So we're going to have to go for a weapon. And there's a lot of choices for weapons here, for sure. And one thing we could do is use something like Doomed Club. And then, of course, Apothecary will be our mana generator for that. But see if there's anything else. Of course, we could use something like Essence of Evil, Fiendfire. There's so many options here for weapons. Lots and lots of options. Black Manacles. We could use that. And then basically we're just going to rely on Apothecary for the mana generation. Let's just throw that in there. Because I know I could use a Doomed Weapon, but I know not everybody has those. But Black Manacles is pretty much a weapon everybody should have that. So I'm going to get that powered up. And wow, lots of red there. Suppose I could do a skull. Cast this. There's a chance on the Black Manacles here, 20% chance to devour. So that's kind of nice. Well, there should be... Pretty sure there should be some kind of Slayer troop, shouldn't there? If we go here, yeah, invasion troops, siege breakers. We should have got a siege breaker with this. Zach Boom Grizzle. Deal 34 damage to an enemy if they are a tower. Deal that, and based on my ascensions, explode 3 red gems. So this guy right here we should have in our team, because now that we have some towers, we're still in the early stage, but that's going to do the most damage. So let's scroll down and find that guy, wherever he may be, right here. So let's go ahead and throw this guy in there. Let's replace a King Bloodhammer there with that. And since he's using yellow, we could do a brown yellow. And honestly, like if we really wanted to, we could use Mountain Crusher as a mana generator and remove Apothecary and then just throw in something else in there too. Like one of the things actually we could do, let's see here. You could use Stone Hammer if you wanted to, like this at the top. But Stone Hammer will block the Zac Boom Grizzle, which is something that we do want there. And at the top would be nice too because it's going to do extra skull damage against a tower. And then, let's see here. Instead of Stone Hammer, what could we throw in there? I mean, we still could do an Apothecary as a mana generator. Could do something like that. Use my black manacles. And this guy here is going to destroy these towers really easy. So we might even want to put like 2 copies of them in there just to speed up once we get up to the point where we have 4 towers. So we'll see here. Let's try to get through some of these battles to get up to a higher level real quick. Yeah. Let's change the weapon. Want to do something that hits hard. Instead of black manacles, let's see if we could do life and death. Because that'll go right for the health, and then it will enchant itself. Where is life and death? There it is. So let's see, let's do that. Nice. Yeah. And then we might have to switch out King Highforge here at the bottom for another Zac. Right now, it's taking care of those towers pretty nice. Life and death might not be as useful later because we're going to have a lot of health to deal with, but we'll see. Alright. Use Apothecary, get some brown going on there. Nice. Alright, we got 2 towers going on now. Things are getting a little tougher to kill. And these towers are immune. Not great, it's going to barrier itself. Get that barrier off there, and then hit it with this. Since we have the Potion of Explosion and Enchantment, and we just leveled up our hero class here to 40. See what 40 talent we got. Steal life from the first enemy on 4 or 5 matches. Could do that. But what we could do is find another Zac. Replace that. And we could have 2 Zacs. Once we have like 3 towers, it'll be pretty nice. But yeah, starting with half mana is still pretty nice. Especially for those early stages, just to get through them quicker. Yeah, I know this video is going on about 20 minutes right now, but I kind of want to keep going with it and see what we're going to do at the top stage here. I'm thinking it's probably just going to be kind of what I have set up here. I might change Life and Death out, though, for Mountain Crusher, just to get that extra mana generation in for these guys at the top. Because once we get higher, the life is going to be quite a bit higher here on the towers. And we're going to have 4 towers that we're going to be dealing with. So it will be... life and death isn't going to do a whole lot to those guys. Really, the damage, most of the damage, because see, these guys, it's a multiplier here of deal 3 to 5 times damage based on my ascensions. And that's spell damage and skull damage. So we really want those guys to be our focus later. That apothecary is really good. One hit killed that guy. We barely have any brown on the board. That's awful. There we go. Yeah, life and death already is becoming a little useless. There we go. Alright, let's see if we have... Yep, we got 3 towers now. So these Zac troops are going to become even more useful. Yeah. Nice. See how the skull damage does a lot too? So that's what we want to go with. I want to get up to the stage here, the top one, where we're dealing with 4 towers every time. And then I'm probably going to switch out Life and Death with Mountain Crusher. I just think that's going to be probably a little better. Because all of our damage at that point is just going to come from these guys here. But Apothecary is probably, I mean, your go-to mana generator for this. Alright. Oh, we still don't quite have 4 of them yet. But yeah, it's really nice. Just one hit is killing these guys. Of course, I have the most damage because, or I should say, I'm maximizing the most damage that these troops have because it's based on your ascensions of the troop. And since mine is ascended to mythic, it's doing the most damage that it can. And I got 2 more battles here, and then we'll see what. Yeah, we'll see what it looks like when we got 4 towers to deal with. Oh, I'm gonna get that. Might as well get the crow there with the skull. Knock that one out with a skull. Boom. One more battle here. Yeah, and if you don't have enough of these troops to get them to mythic, if you have the gems to spare, you can get extra copies in the shop. Nice. Alright, let's go on to the big old 4. And life and death at this point is not really going to be that great. So I'm going to switch over to Mountain Crusher. And the only thing is here, we're going to get mana blocked. Except for the first time around, unless we put it up here. But if we put this up at the top, then these won't get the this right here, the skull damage thing. So this is an area where if you do have Rune Priest leveled up to 70, this guy, at level 70 we have Tree of Knowledge, which will gain enchant. So every time I match green gems, it'll get enchanted, and that will that'll help the Mountain Crusher get powered up, even with the mana blocking it there with those 2 top troops. So let's see here. We can change blue over to that. Get all of that full. And we can start just punching these guys out. And that's full again. And it's nice these troops explode 3 red gems when you cast them. So there's a little bit of mana generation going on when you cast those troops. So I probably will switch back to the Slayer. But I'm just pointing out the fact that if you do have a little trouble getting Mountain Crusher powered up there because it's getting blocked by those top 2 troops. If you do have the Rune Priest up to level 70, you can have that Tree of Knowledge talent, which comes in real handy for events like this. And let's see, we can change blue to that. Do a little skull poke first, and then we'll hit it with a spell. And there we go. So I probably do not need the Tree of Knowledge there. So we're going to go back to the Slayer, wherever it is. Where is it? Oh, it's this way. Because I want to level up that class. Might as well use it. level it up. Otherwise, if I'm using the Rune Priest, I already have that at level 100, so it's kind of useless to use that at this point. Not really useless, but it's just, you know, when you want to level up all your classes. We can convert yellow to brown. That'll give us an extra turn. Do a little of this. And yep, so that's right there is the team that I'm going to recommend for this event, especially when you get up to this top level. You want to have those 2 Zacks at the top so you can maximize the damage here, because you're going to be doing spell damage and skull damage that's going to be based on your ascension. So you do want these at the top. And let's see, we can change yellow, get an extra turn. I don't see any skulls that I can match. Well, there we go. So we got that one with a skull. Now we can do some spell damage. Do some skull damage there. This troop has reduces damage from skulls by 75%. So you're going to do the most damage with spells on that guy. And yeah, so that right there is my recommended team. You got two Zac, Boom, Grizzle. Preferably you want them up to Mythic Ascension, so it's going to do the most damage. Then Mountain Crusher here in the 3rd spot, and then Apothecary. Or you can do Apothecary and then Mountain Crusher, depends there. Plus you could, or one thing we could do, instead of Mountain Crusher, we could put in the weapon, the one we got, the Crusher. We could do this and put that at the bottom, so we'll have purple. And I don't know if there is a double brown, yellow that doesn't have a negative for purple there. But anyway, you could do that as well and use that weapon, because that's going to generate your blue and your brown mana, as well as do a little bit of spell damage. So we'll just try that out. And let's see, we can convert blue, get an extra turn. We might not even need that weapon, but I'm just pointing that out because it is an option. Here, we'll do one more battle, because that one was really smooth. We didn't have the weapon powered up yet, but it's going to get that explosion. Right away we can do this and get all of that full. Take that one out with a skull. Got another one we can take out with a skull. Another one. Well, that one has the reduction. It's alright, we can hit it with this. And then we could just use this and take out the last one, but I want to see what this. If we cast that, see, it's going to do a little bit of damage, but not a lot. But it will generate some blue and some brown there to get those, get your Apothecary and those Zac troops full again. So there you go, guys. That's what I have for you for this event. Hopefully you got some interesting things that you can do out of that. Basically, you want to start with maybe just regular dwarf troops early on, so you can get through those really quick, and probably pick a weapon that's going to do damage to all, so you get through those lower tiers really quickly. And then as you get higher, I would definitely recommend this team. You want to use the Zac, Boom, Grizzle. 2 of them preferably at the top like this, and Apothecary. And then whatever weapon you choose is just completely up to your preference. So that's what I got for you today, guys, and I really appreciate you watching my videos, and I will catch you on the next one. Later.